Liberal Viewer presents.
So according to YouTube's Insight Tools, outside the US and other mainly English-speaking countries, my videos are most popular in Scandinavian countries, including Norway, which is why I was not that surprised to get several requests from viewers in Norway asking me to point out the awful Fox News coverage of the tragic bombing and shooting there last month, which Fox News' The O'Reilly Factor reported the day it happened with guest host Laura Ingraham like this.
Two deadly terror attacks in Norway in what appears to be the work once again of Muslim extremists.
Now you'd think a mistaken accusation like that one would deserve a retraction or an apology, but the O'Reilly Factor of course never gave one, moving on from that mispointed finger on a Friday to a Monday program claiming Christians are the real victims of a wrongful accusation because of the various media outlets correctly reporting that the suspect, Anders Breivik, was motivated by a Christian ideology, which Bill O'Reilly tried to refute using misinformation like this.
On Sunday, the New York Times headlined, "As horrors emerged, Norway charges Christian extremist." A number of other news organizations like the LA Times and Reuters also played up the Christian angle. But Breivik is not a Christian. That's impossible. No one believing in Jesus commits mass murder.
Of course, Bill O'Reilly's statement there ignores the reality of Christianity, as Bill Maher was quick to point out on his show Real Time last Friday on HBO in this clip.
Bill O'Reilly said no one believing in Jesus commits mass murder. Pinhead, what do you think the Crusades were? What do you think the entire 16th century in Europe was? What do you think the Inquisition was? The Ku Klux Klan is a Christian organization. Tim McVeigh, I could go on.
No, I don't think Bill Maher needs to go on, but claiming Christians are incapable of mass murder was not Bill O'Reilly's only error on that program last month, in which he complained that the media supposedly victimized Christians by discussing Anders Breivik's Christianity, which Bill O'Reilly completely underplayed in his so-called no-spin zone, as you can see in this clip.
We can find, Alicia, no evidence that this man practiced Christianity at all, anywhere, at any time, wasn't associated with any church as far as we know, okay? Didn't carry a Bible around, no educational background in that regard, totally secular guy. But now he's a Christian terrorist. So I think this is just patently dishonest.
Now, the only thing dishonest there was Bill O'Reilly's attempt to avoid the Christian motivation behind these attacks, because if you look at that New York Times headline that got Bill O'Reilly so upset, you'll see the subhead specifically references the manifesto written by Anders Breivik, and in that manifesto, as Fareed Zakaria pointed out on his much more informative GPS program on CNN last Sunday,
he claimed in his rambling manifesto to represent a modern-day Knights Templar.
And as that CNN program went on to inform its viewers, the Knights Templar was
a Christian military order founded in the early 12th century. Its members were said to be elite warriors who wore distinctive white mantles with a red cross. They made their reputation by winning a series of battles in the Crusades. Ironically, the Knights' first headquarters were in a mosque, the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, because they believed it was built on the top of the ruins of Solomon's temple. Their name, Templar, comes from that legendary temple. The Knights' main job was said to be protecting Christian pilgrims from Muslims, amongst others.
And the fact that the Knights Templar were Christians protecting Europeans from Muslims was central to Anders Breivik's warped ideology, but what Bill O'Reilly may really have been trying to avoid by ignoring Breivik's motivation as a Christian warrior was the way one religious fanatic is much like another, as Fareed Zakaria also pointed out last Sunday in this clip.
We still don't know if Breivik's boast that there are more lone knights like him waiting to act is true. But if his depiction of the knight as a self-sacrificing assassin on a larger holy mission sounds familiar, it is because it too is mirrored in Islamist terror. That's exactly what a suicide bomber is, a lone fighter often acting in the so-called interests of a larger movement and willing to kill innocents to draw attention to the cause.
And that equivalency between religious fanatics of all kinds is exactly what Bill O'Reilly was trying to avoid with his dishonest arguments, as you can see for yourself by watching the full Fox News clips. But trying to pretend that Christians can't commit mass murder or that Christianity didn't motivate Anders Breivik, I think just digs him in deeper. But I want to know what you think. Do Bill O'Reilly's protestations about Christians being incapable of mass murder and about Anders Breivik not belonging to a church make it wrong to refer to Anders Breivik as a Christian? And regarding that equivalency that O'Reilly wanted to avoid, Aren't religious fanatics dangerous whether their religion is Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or whatever?
I YouTube, you decide.